So the Clinton Foundation changing its rules after taking heat for a number of foreign donations. The foundation now banning large payments from some controversial countries. But they'll continue to accept cash from other countries, even though Mrs. Clinton is running for president. Mercedes Schlapp is a former White House media spokesperson for President George W. Bush. Bernard Whitman is a former Bill Clinton pollster and the CEO of Whitman Insight Strategies. They make up my political panel today. Great to see the both of you. All right.
Hi,
I thought it was interesting, Mercedes, because this was attributable to the Clinton Foundation, the statement on changing up these foreign donations. It says that it's rare to find an organization as transparent as the Clinton Foundation. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely not. As we know, they changed the rules, and one of the things that they did before, they would just show what donors were giving money just once a year. Now they're changing it to quarterly. And as we know, with the situation of the foreign dollars coming in, it created an outcry because of the fact that they were receiving money from nations like Saudi Arabia. And it was sort of this double talk that Secretary Clinton was doing, which was saying basically that, I'm for gender equality, for gay rights, but at the same time taking money from these countries that stone women and gays to death.
Right. So, Bernard, isn't the timing interesting that suddenly the Clinton Foundation is not taking those donations anymore from countries like that, and at the same time claiming to be completely transparent?
If the best thing the Republicans have is to attack Hillary Clinton for an association with a private foundation that has helped change the lives of hundreds of millions of people around the world.
We're not talking about what the foundation does. Bernard,
we are.
We're not talking about the great work that the foundation does. No, we're talking about how it's been funded. There's a difference.
And now the Republicans are complaining because that foundation, which has done extraordinary work, is getting millions of dollars from some of our closest allies. If that's the best the Republicans have against Mrs. Clinton, I would suggest you get ready for 10 more years of Democratic rule in this country.
Mercedes, do you want to respond?
Yes, we have a long list of her dirty laundry that we can put out for the next year and a half on what she's done. But here's the deal. When you're running for president, as you know, when you're a political operative, you got to look at your foundations. You got to look at the work that you're doing. And the fact that they didn't think that this question was going to be coming up, of them receiving 1/3 of their money from foreign governments, a lot of this coming from Saudi Arabia and other countries in the Middle East. I just think that they thought that they didn't have to play by those set of rules. And that becomes an issue. When you're running for president, that is valid. They can go and look at the foundations and see what's happening. And the fact that it's more of a sense of hypocrisy than anything else by Secretary.
So we've set the record that you're not going to agree on this, but I want to move on to this next topic, because if you watch the Netflix series House of Cards, Frank Underwood as president puts his wife Claire in a very powerful position as U.S. ambassador to the United Nations with a recess appointment. So should we be putting people in powerful positions with no experience in the real world, Bernard? How important will experience be this time around for the next president?
Everybody likes to say, and conventional wisdom suggests, that experience is of paramount importance. And of course, I think early on in the vetting process, a candidate has to prove that he or she is experienced enough to be taken seriously by the media and by the early voters. But the fact is, if you look at recent history, go back and look at how Obama won. In fact, actually beat Mrs. Clinton in the primaries, running on change over experience. George W. Bush beat Al Gore on change versus experience. Bill Clinton beat H.W. Bush on change over experience. So we might want to say we want our leaders to be experienced and have all this experience. And certainly Mrs. Clinton has the most experience of any candidate. But the truth is, you end up voting based on a connection and based on the ability to deliver change.
That's very interesting. Do you agree with that? Is change the buzzword, Mercedes?
I think Bernard is right. I think it is about change. I think it's about experience and competence and likability. I think those would be the three key words to identify. It's the fact if a candidate can connect and be likable to these voters. We've seen this awkwardness, obviously, with Secretary Clinton in her campaign stop in Iowa already, where they staged the meeting there. But I think that's what you're going to find with candidates like a Senator Marco Rubio, like a Governor Scott Walker, which is playing well in the Republican field. So you need a mix of those three. And especially during these challenging times, experience and competence are key.
All right. Mercedes and Bernard, thanks much. See you soon.
Thanks, Gretchen.
Thank you, Gretchen.